Hey y'all, my name is Rylan. Welcome to my channel. I believe it is day 4 of Bookmas, so happy Bookmas day 4. I am here today with a video talking about 5 of my favorite books from 2022. It is currently November as I'm filming this video, and I have read over 200 books. I have found so many amazing books this year. I have had so many 5-star reads. I think my Goodreads favorites shelf for this year has like 33 books on it right now, but for the sake of the length of this video, I have narrowed my favorite books down to 5. So these are 5 of my favorite books from this year. 3 of them I own physically, so I'll show them off in a little bit. 2 of them I had digital copies of, so I'll just have a picture of each one on the screen. But let's just go ahead and dive straight into this list. 2022 has been the year where I have come into my romance and thriller loving self. I think that I have sort of switched gears from reading a little bit of everything, which I still do sometimes, to primarily reading romance and thrillers. So that's mostly what you'll see in this list today. I do have one manga series to talk about because I just can't not bring up these books when thinking about my favorites. So I'll go ahead and start with the manga. Maybe a basic answer or maybe a basic favorite to have, but one of my favorites from this year has been the Spy Family series. I own the first 4 graphic novels. I've read the first 5 and think these are just so entertaining and fun while also having that mystery and action and intense elements in them as well. So the Spy Family series is about our spy whose name is Twilight, and he's on this mission to take down this dude. And in order to complete his mission, he has to become a part of a family. So he adopts a telepath whose name is Anya. She's hilarious. She is super cute. She's a 1st grader, I think. And then he marries an assassin. And so they live this fake life together, not realizing that the other person has this secret identity as a telepath, a spy, or an assassin, except the telepath knows. Anya knows because she's a telepath and she, reads her mom and dad's thoughts. And it's so fun. We follow their dysfunctional family as they try to build a family. We follow Anya at school and Twilight on side missions, and all these really fun moments between all of them and separately, and it's so much fun. I would really recommend this series if you're looking for something that's both cute and thriller-esque, because they're really addicting, and I need to buy the last couple that are out so far. I know that volume 9 or 10 is being published soon, I think. So these are really popular currently, and I understand the hype, and I would also recommend them. The next favorite that I have to show y'all is a book that I actually talked about earlier this summer when I talked about 10 favorites from this year so far. So I'm bringing this one back because I am truly in love with this book, and that is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaka Emezi. I was able to get an arc of this book. I traded with somebody in a Facebook group because I had been anticipating this for way before it was coming out. I read The Death of Vivac by this author. It was either at the very beginning of this year or the very beginning of last year. I don't remember. I think it was the very beginning of this year, but it feels like it was so long ago. I don't know, but I love that book. So I knew that I wanted to read this one when I saw that it was coming out, and I'm so happy that I have a physical arc of this, and it's all tabbed up as well. This is a contemporary romance about Faye, who a couple years ago lost her husband, I believe in a car accident. They were high school sweethearts and they had been married for a while, and he passes away. She is living in grief, and she has not allowed herself to move on or attempt to find happiness with somebody else until she meets this man who might seem, or who she thinks is a little bit unconventional for her age. So there's a little bit of an age gap going on. She meets him kind of under awkward circumstances, but this kind of explores both of them learning more about each other and, talking through their grief that they both are dealing with and coming together and accepting love with each other. Love this book. It made me cry. I've got so many tabs in this one. It took me a while to read it just because life was busy and I wasn't always in the mood for it, but it made me so emotional by the end of it. I did cry a couple times. There were so many relatable moments that I felt with Faye, and I love this book and it will always be a favorite of mine and I'll cherish it forever. The last favorite that I have physically, and I actually have a special edition of this book, which I love very much. This is a book that I have done another video with, so I will link it above if you want to watch that. It was like a 12-hour reading challenge, and this book hit me in ways that I was not expecting. I was not expecting to love this book as much as I ended up loving it, and I still do not think that I'm over it to an extent, and just chef's kiss. That book is The Revenge Pact by Ilsa Madden Mills. This is a football romance about, this is about Anastasia, who is dating this guy for most of the book, which is the only thing that frustrated me, but to an extent I think it made the book better. Like, it made the angst and the tension better than what it would have been. Anyway, so this is about Anastasia, who's in a relationship and she's not like super happy in the relationship. Her boyfriend's frat brother, his name is River, he is like a god on the campus, football star, and they have like this enemies to lovers type thing going on, or maybe not enemies, but they just don't really like each other. But that's because River has had a crush on her for a very long time, and he just doesn't know how to express that with her, and so they're kind of doing this back and forth thing, and Anastasia finds out that her boyfriend's a dirtbag, but that doesn't mean that she gets with River right away. There's a lot of angst and tension and sadness. There's grief in this book, and I was sobbing for a ton of pages in this book. And I'm not sure if I will ever recover from it. It does have a happy ending, but it's not always a happy book. I have the Bell Book Box edition of this one. I actually got this before I even read the book, which I don't know why I did that and why I keep doing that, because special editions are expensive sometimes, and I hadn't even read this book, but I don't regret having it now because this was an amazing book. I loved it so much. My next favorite from this year is another romance called Broken Boys Can't Love by Macaulay Smeltzer, I believe. I had an arc of this book before it came out, and again, was not expecting to fall head over heels in love with this book. I knew that I would enjoy it, but I didn't expect to get hit so emotionally or to get hit so hard with it as I ended up being hit. So this is a new adult college romance about our main character, whose name I don't remember, but her brother's best friend and her have this, like, they're kind of roommates. They're living in this apartment off campus and they share a bathroom. So Jack and Jill bedrooms with a bathroom in between, and they are not fans of each other. He is a playboy. I think his name is Jude. He's a playboy and, is always having girls over, and the female main character, it's gonna bother me that I don't remember her name, but I'm not gonna look it up. Anyway, she gets really annoyed with him, but she has no experience in her own personal life, but she kind of has this crush on a guy, and they make this deal where, like, he will help her get some experience if she does something for him, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember what the deal is exactly, but yeah, he's basically giving her lessons, and the attraction between them combusts, and it's a really fun time. I did cry at the end of this book, definitely got emotional, and yeah, Macaulay Smeltzer just knew how to hit home with that one, and I definitely want to read more of her books soon, eventually, whenever I have the time to pick one up, and maybe I'll vlog it because I was really shocked by this one, and I think I will be by her other books as well. And then my last favorite that I have on this list to share with y'all today is Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. This is a thriller. I do have a reading vlog with this one as well on my channel. Again, I'll tag it above. This is a thriller about our main character who is arrested for her husband's murder. She finds him in the bathroom, razor in hand, blood everywhere, and he's dead. She's arrested, let out on parole, so she goes back to her house but fun fact, she is a lot younger than he is, and he is like this famous actor, comedian guy. And yeah, everybody thinks that she's a gold digger and that she murdered him to get all the money from the will and things like that. And the author goes back and forth between the current with the main character and like the current murder going on, and like the past with a character and like other bad things that happened, and there's connections being made and all that fun stuff. And it was a really fun time. I also cried during this book, and whoever said that like thrillers are all like, you know, hard-hitting and intense and action-packed and scary and spooky did not account for the fact that sometimes they're very emotional as well. And I cried during this book, which I was not expecting to. I remember finishing it on live when I was live for sprints at some point over the summer with Stasia, and I was actually a mess. So that was fun. But yeah, I loved this book. I don't often get emotional when I read thrillers. So when a thriller does get me emotional, I just know that that's a good one. And I love this book so much. Would highly recommend. I just recently read Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier, which is one of her older thrillers, not super old, but definitely not her newest release. And I love that one just as much. So I'm really thinking about going through and reading a lot of her backlist. I know she has a bunch of other thrillers out there that I do kind of want to read now, because I've been 2 for 2 with 5-star reads by the author. So I definitely think that I might be able to find a new auto-buy author with her thrillers, because just spectacular. Left me on my toes, on the edge of my seat, not knowing who to trust, not knowing what would come next. My guesses about plot twists were all wrong, and I love it when thrillers mess with me like that. So that was another amazing book from 2022, a 5-star read. Would recommend checking it out. I have read so many amazing books so far this year. I say so far as though the year isn't already almost over, but I've read so many amazing books, and I think I can probably find 1 or 2 more for, you know, the end of 2022. But I think that this has been my best reading year quality-wise, and I'm excited next year to, you know, keep going with that momentum and finding new favorites, especially as I continue to get further into my new favorite genres of romance and thrillers, which I think is what I will be primarily sticking with in the new year, because, you know what I like now, and I want to keep going into those genres more. So feel free to comment down below and share any of your 2022 favorites with me. Feel free to share any of your 2022 least favorites. I would love to hear all the tea from all y'all, but also I love recommendations, love more books to add to my TBR, like I need anymore, but you know, I'm always going to be doing it, so no shame. Yeah, let me know all your favorites down below. Tell me what I should be, you know, reading in the new year, especially if they're romance and thrillers, because I am a sucker for those genres now. So thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.